Okay, hello everyone. My name is Dr. Ashaye. So, one common complaint I hear when I've asked patients to check their blood pressure is that they get different numbers, and sometimes it's within minutes of checking the blood pressure. So, maybe their first reading is, let's say, 132/83, for example, and then 1 to 2 minutes later, it's 122/78. So, some of them feel discouraged. They feel like, they're just getting random numbers. They may feel frustrated, and so they stop checking it. So if you or someone you know has experienced this episode is for you. You're listening to Connecting the Dots with Dr. Ashaye. I'm Lola Ashaye. I'm a family medicine and lifestyle medicine doctor and owner of InTouch Primary Care in Sugarland. And we're an innovative medical clinic where we offer an alternative way to receive healthcare that is stress-free and focused on the patient. Okay, so this month we're talking about high blood pressure, and I've been working with patients to lower their blood pressure for many years. And I found that those that are most successful in lowering their blood pressure are those that check it periodically. And so in my practice, I encourage all my patients with high blood pressure to check their blood pressure at home and also to bring their machine and their blood pressure logs from time to time. Because I found that those that track their blood pressure are much more successful in achieving a normal blood pressure than those that only get it checked at the visits. Also, we know that home blood pressures are actually much more helpful in management than the visit blood pressures. So checking your blood pressure at home is so important because your blood pressure determines so many things, how we treat the blood pressure, the value we get in the office. It also determines what types of other medications we might give you for other conditions that you may have. So it's really important that we have a good, accurate blood pressure. So ideally, those that have high blood pressure, even when it's well controlled, should still try to check their blood pressures at home. And ideally, you want to get 14 blood pressure readings a month. So sometimes I'll say, just check it twice a day for a week every month. So we make sure that we're still okay. Or you can check it once a day for 2 weeks, but just check it frequently enough so that you have several readings that you can use that we can review. Okay, so this is for those that are checking their blood pressure and they're noticing that, they sit down, they check it. Within a few minutes of checking it, they've checked the first time, it seems they get a certain number. They check it again, maybe 2 minutes later, they get something completely different. And they're wondering, is this normal? Should it be varying so much? Simple answer is yes, it can be normal. So the thing about blood pressure is that many things affect our blood pressure. So our blood pressure tends to be nice and low when we're relaxed. And then when we're under stress, the blood pressure goes up. So if you check your blood pressure right after you sit down, which a lot of people do, so that, they're like, oh, it's time to check my blood pressure. And they just plop down on the chair and then check it right away. Your blood pressure would likely be high versus when you wait, the 2 or 5 minutes later and recheck it. By then, if you've been sitting down and you've been quiet and you've been relaxed, more than likely your blood pressure will go down. But it's important to know that even simple things like laughing or talking or even crossing your legs can change your blood pressure and make it different from the first reading and maybe even higher. So one of the things that, in doctors' offices, sometimes, even in doctors' offices, you see the assistant will check your blood pressure and both of you are talking and laughing. That is not going to be an accurate blood pressure. The blood pressure values that we are depending on or that we're comparing to our blood pressure values that are done when you're quiet, you're seated, and you're relaxed. So a blood pressure where you're talking, you're laughing, your legs are crossed, that's not going to be accurate. So when you're checking at home, so here's my first tip. When you're checking your blood pressure, try to be in a quiet room. Make sure you've been sitting. Ideally, you want to be sitting for about 5 minutes before checking. You want your legs to be uncrossed, so your feet should be planted on the ground, like flat on the ground. Your back should be supported. So you shouldn't be, ideally, you shouldn't be checking your blood pressure in your bed. You should be checking it in a chair, seated, and your arms supported on a table. So a dining table is a perfect place to check it, for instance. And then you should ideally wait another 2 minutes after the first reading and then check it again. And then you want to write both values down and take it with you to your doctor. So that's, ideal when you're checking your blood pressure. There are other factors and other things that you should probably also do before checking, but safest thing is just check it first thing in the morning, before you eat, before you exercise, before you start moving around too much. Empty your bladder first though, go and use the bathroom and empty your bladder, and then, sit down on the dining table or something and go ahead and check your blood pressure. Okay, so let's say you're already doing all of that. Also, don't drink coffee before within 30 check-in. Just want to throw that out there because I know some people, the first thing they do is reach for the coffee, so that's going to affect your blood pressure. Okay, so let's say you're already doing that, still getting different values. So how much fluctuation is okay? So say, like I made the example earlier, your first blood pressure in, was 130s over 80s or something, and then the second one was like 120s over 70s. So is that okay? Well, the thing is, there's no specific number, as it depends on many factors, right? But what's important to know is we're looking at a trend. We're not looking at one single value. So for the most part, as long as your blood pressure is within the normal range and the fluctuations are not that big, then just leave it up to your doctor to figure that out, because there are just so many things that need to be sorted to determine whether that's normal for you. So just keep checking. Don't be worried if you're getting fluctuations. Just write down those two values and go ahead and take it to your doctor. Let your doctor do that work of interpreting that result for you to determine whether it's okay or not. But just know that it could be completely normal for you to have, one value one time and the other value the other time. Don't go and buy 10 different blood pressure machines. Don't throw the one you have away. Just write the values down and bring your blood pressure machine and the blood pressure log to your doctor's appointment. Okay, so another reason blood pressure could vary is that when you use a different arm, so sometimes if you don't have a specific place that you check your blood pressure, or you're not really thinking about it, today use your left arm or use your right arm. And so you might be thinking, but shouldn't it be the same in each arm? Well, before I discuss, just wanted to put in a plug. I want to encourage you to please help spread the word and share this video with other people. If you think this is helping you, go ahead and help us back. There are 3 easy ways you can do this. You can subscribe, you can share, you can like. And by doing these 3 simple things, you help others improve their health. You can help us reach a wider audience. You're telling other people by telling other people to check us out too. So if you have not already, please go ahead and take a moment to subscribe, take a moment to share, take a moment to like our videos. It's a small action. It can make a big difference for somebody else. So I want to say thank you for your support, and let's work together. Let's get more people aware about their health. Okay, so like I was saying, maybe you have noticed your blood pressure is different in one arm compared to the other. And you're like, is that normal? Should I be concerned? Well, there actually have been studies about this. And the bottom line is a blood pressure difference between the left and the right arm is actually quite common. Studies have shown that more frequently, the right arm tends to have a higher blood pressure than left, but not always, just that's, statistically speaking. And that number can be as different as 10 to 20 points higher in the right arm or in one arm compared to the other. And that could be within minutes of check-in. So there could be a blood pressure difference between both arms that could be even large and could be normal. So if you're noticing, I check my blood pressure on my right arm, I get this value, I check in the left arm, it's completely different. What does that mean? Is there something happening? I would recommend you discuss this with your doctor because there are conditions that could cause this difference. But again, many times it's very possible that it's completely normal for you, is completely okay, and it's normal for you. So just something to do to make sure you're checking both arms. And if you a significant difference, just check with your doctor, let them figure out if this is normal for you or not. So what if they've decided, okay, you're getting maybe a 10-point difference in your blood pressure, or even a 20-point difference, depending on what arm you use. And if you notice them, like say, every time I check in my right arm, it's always 10 points higher than when I check in my left arm. So what arm should you use to determine your blood pressure? Well, use the arm that you're getting the higher blood pressure measurement. So if it's the right arm, that is 10 points higher than the left arm. Always use the right arm when you check your blood pressure going forward. That way we have an accurate blood pressure. Okay, so I just wanted to remind you that there are many factors that could affect your blood pressure reading, but don't give up checking it. It's so important to keep track of it. Your home blood pressure is so useful. It helps us make very important decisions about your health in general. And it's actually even more useful than the office measurement. So we need you to check your blood pressure at home. So number one, make sure you're getting an accurate blood pressure by taking it in a relaxed way. So I discussed that earlier. Make sure you're seated in the right position and that you relax before checking your blood pressure. The other thing is don't be bothered by the fluctuations in your blood pressure. Just keep a log, bring it in, bring your blood pressure machine in, and let your doctor sort it out. And then the last tip is check your blood pressure in both arms. And if you're consistently getting a higher value in one arm, use that arm to keep track of your blood pressure going forward. Okay. So uncontrolled high blood pressure causes a lot of problems. I mean, it can lead to heart conditions, to strokes, to kidney damage. It can affect our eyes and many organs over time. So it's definitely worth taking time to stop and address the blood pressure so that things don't get more complicated. So if you are in the Houston area, you have high blood pressure or you have other conditions and you're looking for a doctor that is proactive about your health, well, we are here at InTouch Primary Care. So you can learn more about our services and how we can help you by visiting our website, intouchprimarycare.com. And you can call us at 713-280-9985. I look forward to helping you on your journey to better health. So imagine that you are tracking your blood pressure now. Tracking your blood pressure is the first step to a healthy blood pressure. So imagine you're paying attention to it and your blood pressure is now controlled. So that means you're preserving your organs, you're reducing your risk for heart condition, brain conditions, kidney conditions, eye conditions, many conditions down the road. And you get to live a good quality of life and enjoy time with your loved ones. So I hope if you do have high blood pressure, you don't ignore it and you actually check it, which is the first step to lowering your blood pressure long term. I hope that helps. See you next week.